How you doing, guys? This is Weekend Warrior Nate, your Overlord, with Weekend Warrior Josh.
How you doing?
We're here to bring you another bat rep for X-Wing. We've decided, in the spirit of expanding the community, as we mentioned in the unboxing video, that we're going to start trying to create some scenarios. Josh, what do we got today?
This is something we kind of came up with spur of the moment. It's if you played any kind of wargaming game, it's a capture the objective. We have 3 objectives set up approximately in the middle of the table. Each turn, we will fight over control of those objectives and score number of points at the end of each turn, with, at the end of the game, whoever has the most points will win.
In order to score these objectives, what we've agreed on is a ship must spend its action after it's completed its move and be within range band 1 of the objective to mark or transmit to the objective to claim it. Your opponent can then, during his action, do the same thing to take the objective from you. So the objectives can switch ownership numerous times throughout the course of a turn, which should increase the element of excitement and trying to keep these objectives under control. With that in mind, I will be playing the Imperium once again. I am fielding my force with Boba Fett running his Slave 1, giving him the upgrades of his backup gunner, the veteran instincts, and his stealth device. The rest of my crew is the Wing Gundark, Backstabber, and Mauler Mythal, who is rocking the marksmanship upgrade.
I'm going to be playing Rebels. As you've probably seen before, I'm running a usual force. It's Wedge Antilles in his X-Wing with the marksmanship upgrade, Jan Ors in her 290 with ion cannon, Nian Nub as a co-pilot, and an engine upgrade.
There you go.
That's the one. And then they'll be flanked by Biggs in his X-Wing with a shield upgrade and an R2 unit. I think it's R2 F2.
Sounds right. It's
the one that gives me an extra agility for my action.
Should be a good matchup. My army is radically different from what it has been the last couple of times we've played a couple battles. We'll see how this works out, running all characters for once. I'm still limited down to only having 3 TIE fighters and a fire spray, so until I start getting my hands on interceptors and bombers, my list is going to be pretty generic.
If the rumors are be true, you'll get what you want.
I'm looking forward to that Royal Guard interceptor.
Yeah.
That looks like a lot of fun. So, we'll come back once we're done with deployment, and once again, a quick overview of the scenario.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Hey, hello everybody. So we just finished up deployment. We were both at 99 points, so we went with the tournament route of flipping a coin to see who got initiative, and Nate managed to steal it. I went with a corner deployment because I feel it gives me just more options, gives me better reactions to what he was doing. So we have Biggs up front, Jan in her Hawk, and Wedge behind him.
Fantastic. And as we mentioned, we are going to be doing a custom scenario we just made up of our own version of Capture the Flag. We have placed in the center of the board, in a row, 3 flags. These will be our scoring objectives throughout the course of the game. Another caveat that we've added to this scenario is we have put ourselves on a 10-round limit on top of the normal 75 minutes. So it's a matter of 10 rounds or 75 minutes, whichever will come first. For my deployment, I decided to spread out. I've got Backstabber running around by himself, Boba taking up the middle, and then Gundark and Mauler Mythal are both creating a strong flank on the side here to hopefully be early harassment for me. We'll see how this goes, and we will see you at the end of round 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Done here with our first round. As you see, I just kind of jutted forward a little. Pretty standard. I wanted to see what, again, he's going to do. So, next turn we start scoring, and we'll see how this scenario turns out.
Fantastic. As for me, I just did a straight up blitz. Everyone move forward as quickly as possible. A bunch of focus actions for this turn, just get in the habit, not that anything was going to be in range. An interesting note is at this point I'm with almost all my ships in range to start capturing objectives, but we are not allowing any objectives to be captured until the start of the next turn, until turn 2. So this is where things are going to get interesting, because it looks like I'm going to get an early lead on victory points, because I don't think he'll be able to get within range band 1 in one maneuver. We'll see how this plays out.
Okay, so we just finished our second turn. Managed to capture all the objectives for this round. As you can see, I kind of wheeled in towards the center. My plan is to focus fire on Boba, because he's my biggest threat. Got some shots out, no real damage. We both lost some shields, but it's only the start.
Indeed. And as I said, the Imperium has collected all 3 objectives this turn, which gives me 3 points to work with. Tabling is still a winning option, so there's still 8 turns left to work with. We'll see how this pans out from here. And Boba Fett's already struggling.
Hey everybody, into round 3 here. He still holds all the objectives, but I'm making my comeback. As you see, I put Jan in a position where Boba wouldn't be able to do much. Biggs got some shots out, but he has no more shields, and he took a hit and a crit, so he has 1 whole point left. Wedge does what he does. He gets in range 1, rolls 5 dice against someone, and 1-shotted Wing and Gun Dark.
Bad day for me. I was not happy to see that result. Rolled the dice, rolled 5 dice, all of them came up connecting shots. I'm like, great, I've got 2 to defend with. I'm guaranteed to be dead. Isn't this
2 crits?
Isn't that fantastic? But I do hold all the objectives still for the second round in a row, which puts me scoring up by 6. But if he continues to roll like that, I won't have a fleet much longer. I was hoping to get Biggs dead since I did so much damage to him, but he managed to roll ridiculous and roll 3 dodges on my last attack on him and managed to evade everything I threw at him.
That's what I needed. I needed 1 more round at least.
And we're back at the end of turn 4. Things have turned into a rather cluster on this point. Josh, walk us through what we have.
Well, I moved up. I started taking some of the objectives. Didn't really think too terribly much about positioning, but also it didn't actually hurt me in any way. Wedge ran into Jan. That's about it. It took all 3 of his ships to bring down Biggs on his last hull point.
Again. But Muller was unable to shoot this turn due to no line of sight.
Yeah, so I guess 2 ships. But still, that was shots not at anyone else. So, gonna see how this next turn goes.
Indeed. This brings the score now 7-2. Rebels making a comeback. Turn 5. All right, end of turn 5. Whole lot of positioning in this one. I've advanced my fleet and did a glorious maneuver of the Imperium and made a wrong turn, putting Backstabber way off in no man's land, being completely useless for this turn. I did put Boba in range to retake an objective, but didn't, fearing an ion cannon shot, since Boba's been kind of the target, and he's going to become my heavy hitter here shortly. So that brings a score of 8-4, and next turn the fight will restart in earnest. It's always interesting how in Star Wars you get these turns where we kind of take a lull in the storm as everyone has to clear the airspace and reset up attack runs. We'll see what happens next. Turn 6.
Alright, so here at the end of round 6, I'm getting back in the fight over there. Puts quite a bit of damage on Boba. Finally got rid of his stealth device. Wedge is down to his last hull point, and Jan still has only lost her 1 shield. So
Ion's a pain, but I'm more worried about 5 dice of attack. Boba is half dead after a fantastic roll. He rolled 4 dice and rolled 4 hits, because Wedge seems to be really angry at the last couple battles where I've kind of punked him. I did manage to retake the center objective this turn, which brings a score of 10-5. My math's right. And starting of turn 7. 3 turns remaining. Welcome back at the end of turn 7. The rebels have retaken the center objective, giving them, from your perspective, the center and right. I have continued to hold the left one for the entirety of the game. Brings us to a score of 11-7. They're coming back pretty quickly, but in a wonderful little fiasco for this turn, Backstabber decided he was done with this stuff and flew off the board. I kept making two. Just remember, people, pay attention to your orientation when you're choosing your maneuvers. It can damn you real easily. Some hot shooting from Boba, taking advantage of his gunner upgrade and the target lock he had access to. Managed to drop wedge, and Jan attempted to shoot at Backstabber, but nothing happened there. With 2 remaining turns after this one, we'll see how this goes. See you in a bit.
Hey everybody, we're back at the end of the game. Cut the last few turns short because they were quick, not too much happened. Kept Mauler Mytho ionized for a while, so he was effectively out of the fight. I wasn't able to take back an objective, but at this late in the game, I had no shot at taking it because I was doing 1 damage a turn, if that, and I wouldn't have been able to get all 3. So
Yeah, I was able to keep lucky and keep the objectives. The early blitz on it seemed to work in my favor. Boba spent a couple turns doing a really wide turn. I should have K-turned and brought him back into the fight sooner. I really need to focus on my maximizing maneuvers. Still trying to gauge those out. As most of you who might have been following us, this is like maybe my 3rd battle ever. So as for the scenario itself, it seemed to work in a pretty balanced fashion. While I got an early lead after 1 quick turn of Josh grabbing 2 of the objectives, points started to close in a lot quicker. We lost track due to a distraction, but I think the ending score was somewhere around 16-12, give or take.
something like that.
Somewhere around that line. So we put it out to you guys to give this scenario a try. See if there's anything that you liked, didn't like, anything you think that might be done better. This is the first of mini beta test. Some options we've considered for changing this battle are making claims disappear at the end of the turn, like focus. That way they can, you'll be forced to reclaim it every turn and forces you to keep the fighting on the objectives. So if there's any other suggestions, please let us know. Josh, any final notes?
I think it's a good basis for a scenario, a tournament style scenario. Like Nate said, there are some things that might need to change just to make it a little easier, quicker to set up, quicker to keep track of, just to fit in with the 75-minute rounds. But other than that, we'll wait for your guys' input and see where we can go from here.
Thank you. And with that, this is again your Overlord, Weekend Warrior Nate.
Weekend Warrior Josh.
Thanks for watching. Brought to you from ShieldBreakers. Have a good day.